Hello, I found this wonderful article here in the Daily Sceptic. Insulating homes increases gas consumption, Cambridge report finds. Oh, and this article is dedicated to a subscriber of mine called Granniopteryx. Hi there. You'll see why in a minute. Around 1 in 5 households increase their consumption of gas after installing energy efficiency measures such as loft and cavity wall installation. I think they mean insulation here. Look, I'm just going to tell you, you can say what you want. You can be any sort of an expert you want. You can be a communist theorist, a political theorist, an ecology theorist, a Thunbergian theorist, an idealist, an insulate Britain theorist, follow the science theorist, facts and figures. You can shoot for the stars. But whatever happens, you are going to come across the gravity well of human nature, which is going to somewhat deflect your course, if not completely throw you into the sun. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that in the next, within this paragraph. This is an intriguing survey, it says here. And it's not intriguing at all to some student of literature or history. You know, the funny thing is, literary people, I mean those that haven't had their brain fried by communist theorists like Arnold Kettle, literary people and historians, again, same applies, are students really of human nature. And it's funny how when they want to bring experts on to talk about the spread of diseases or insulation or whatever, they bring in experts. They bring in experts on the theory. They never bring in experts on human nature. In my opinion, they should probably do more of that. They should actually invite historians and literary people into discussions about germ theory or building insulation. And I'm going to show you what I mean here. This intriguing survey was published by 2 economists at the University of Cambridge. It was found that insulating lofts and cavity walls of existing UK housing stock only reduce gas consumption for the first year or two. Right, at this point I'm going to make a detour to have a little conversation with Granniopteryx and the rest of you as well. It was found that insulating lofts and cavity walls of existing UK housing stock only reduce gas consumption. No, it didn't. It did a lot more than reducing or not gas consumption. What they mean with that only is it should be here. Only for the first year. People constantly misplace only. It makes my teeth itch when they do it. Anyway, I'm just telling you, think about what you're saying. Please, it's quite important, you know. So there you are, Granniopteryx, one for you. Oh, actually, while I'm doing this, I might as well say I'm Granniopteryx. Please like this video, please share it, please subscribe, and remember that if you're watching this on YouTube, subscriptions drop, so check that, and notifications don't turn up either. So please subscribe to me at Granniopteryx on Twitter, Gab and Parler, where I do tell you when I've uploaded a new video. What else? Oh yes, of course, you can, as I say, you can support my channel really usefully by liking, by sharing, and also you can buy me a coffee or donate in one of the other 2 links, which are in the description. Okay, let's get on with this. Found that insulating lofts and cavity walls reduce gas consumption only for the first year or 2, with all energy savings vanishing by the 4th year after a retrofit. Well, you could have knocked me down with a feather when I saw that. I mean, it's not as if people aren't getting used to just being warm and turning the heating up. Now, I want to give you an example of something. It's from a comedy show, which if you haven't heard of it, you should look it up. You'll be able to find it, I'm sure, on YouTube. It's called Open All Hours, and it was starring a creative and comedic genius called Ronnie Barker, who played a fellow called Arkwright, who owned a shop in a terrace of Victorian working class houses, in a street of Victorian working class terrace houses. Now, all of these houses would have been completely uninsulated. They would have been cold most of the time in the winter. And there's one scene which struck me very forcibly when I saw it. I think it was Arkwright. I don't remember exactly what the episode was, but Arkwright had the hots for a nurse who lived across the road from his shop. She was called Nurse Gladys Emanuel. And at one point he was trying to find an excuse to, well, I don't know actually what the excuse was, but anyway, he was climbing a ladder. I think he was climbing a ladder to her bedroom window, and she was asleep. And then when she heard the kerfuffle outside, she woke up. Now, as soon as she woke up, she took the dressing gown, which was on the bed, and put it on. And it struck me at the time. There she was. It was cold in that bedroom, cold and damp, because most British houses of that type are cold and damp in the winter, unless they've been insulated. She had worn the dressing gown to go to bed, had taken it off as she got under the covers, and left the dressing gown on the bed. And then, as soon as she got up, she had to take the dressing gown off the bed and put it on, because it was cold and damp, and she would have been putting on furry winter slippers as well. Now, that's because her house was underheated and under-insulated, so she was relying on clothing to keep her warm at all times. However, with a centrally heated house that's properly insulated, you don't need that dressing gown anymore, especially if you turn the heating up a little bit. And you get out of bed, you're still wearing your pyjamas, you pad downstairs to the kitchen and make yourself a cup of tea first thing in the morning, possibly not even wearing slippers. And you're fine. You just turn the heating up a little bit more though. Just a bit more. And then what do you do when the house is so well heated? Well, you stay up later, because it's, you know, when the fire's dying down, you'd go to bed in the old days, but, you know, you can stay up later. You can sit still for longer because you're watching television or you're working on your computer until 1 o'clock in the morning. Just turn the heating up a little bit more. Yes. And, you know, there were times when my mother told me, there were times when she and her parents would go out to the cinema at night. It wasn't only because that was the only entertainment they had. There was no television when she was a girl, but also it was warm in the cinema. That's what people used to do as well. They'd go to the pubs. They'd go to the cinema to keep warm at night. It would save them lighting a fire. So people develop strategies for staying warm. And when the strategy is just turn the thermostat up a bit more, that's what they do. That's human nature. And then, so now they're talking about energy rationing instead. Well, human nature will find a way around that too. I'm quite sure of that. That's the problem with human nature. Okay, till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the granniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.